Good day, everyone. My name is Asela Lorene V. Dendam. I am a master teacher of Honggon National High School, and today I will discuss the output or the results of my action research titled The Detrimental Effects of the COVID-19 Pandemic to J and HS Teachers, Basis for a School-Based Psychosocial Support Program. And from the values derived from the study, its wellness break diminishes the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And truly, if there is a break from from the detrimental effects of the COVID-19, or teachers are given spaces to support their psychosocial well-being, then it will really diminish the effect of COVID-19. And also, to maximize teachers' work performance, they must be provided with psychosocial support program, particularly wellness break or mental health break. Although Department of Education already responded to this, it is constant and more consistent if it will be applied per school. Not only within the national level or the division level, but it is important that teachers within the schools, which they are easily reached by the administration and their co-teachers, it is very important that they have their own space there. Um, it doesn't mean that they will forget that they are in the workplace, but at least a break of 4 or 5 minutes will take a lot of difference, or will make a lot of difference for these teachers. And let us proceed. So the study aims to answer the following question. First, what is the demographic profile of the respondents in terms of sex, age, marital status, position, and length of service? Second is, what are the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic to teachers in terms of mental, physical, and social? I only limited uh, the aspects or the effect of COVID-19 to those three. Number three, is there any significant difference in the effects of the COVID-19 to teachers when they are grouped according to demographic profile? And number four, what program could be developed to promote the psychosocial well-being of the teachers based on the results of this study? All right, so this is the research paradigm. The main problem here is the COVID-19 pandemic. We all know that it really has an effect on our mental, physical, and social well-being. And according to UNESCO, this will really have a really long-term effect on people. All right, and maybe if this pandemic ends, we are not sure that uh, there will be no another pandemic that would exist. And here in my research, the given solution is that the school-based psychosocial support program. Okay, let us proceed. And for the methodology, I've utilized the purposive sampling of research since we only have 14 respondents within our school. And they answered the survey via Google Forms. The teacher made survey or questionnaire was validated by a group of master teachers and a group of school heads in our school or in our district. But still, it is within our school. But I asked people to validate it, and then I did the distribution through Facebook Messenger. I distributed the link of the Google Forms there to follow up and closely monitor the responses of my respondents. And for the statistical treatment, I've utilized the frequency percentage, weighted arithmetic mean, and the single factor ANOVA to determine, to tabulate the data. Let us now proceed to the results and discussions. So most of the respondents are female with 75%, while male with only 25%. Most of the respondents are considered young in the profession. Most, or 56% of the teachers are married. Most, or 81% of the teachers were teacher 1, and they are still new in the profession. Most, or 69%, have 5 years and below teaching experience. Next, so Teachers strongly agreed with a weighted mean of 4.38. Most of the teachers fear having the infection and spreading it to the family members. This is under the mental aspect. Next is the teachers agreed with the weighted mean of 3.69. Most of the time, teachers increased home and care responsibilities. This is under the physical aspect. The third one, the teachers agreed with the weighted mean of 3.88 that most of the time, teachers can no longer attend the usual graduation, ceremonies, induction parties, and even burial of their loved ones. So this is under the social aspect. This is the result. And based on the overall results, the computed F values are lower than the F value. Therefore, the null hypothesis is accepted. And therefore, we conclude that there is no significant difference in the respondents in the effects of COVID-19 pandemic to the teachers when they are grouped according to their demographic profile. Meaning, there is an equal effect, both men and women, when it comes to their experiences during the pandemic. So both of them, they only have equal effects or experiences. So regardless of gender or sex, so they are affected. And we arrived at a conclusion. First, the demographic profile of the respondents revealed that majority are female, and most of them are 26 to 30 years old and 31 to 35 years old. Most were married and teacher 1 with a length of service of 5 years and below. And most of the teachers agreed on the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of the following. First, most of the time teachers fear having the infection and spreading it to the family members. For the physical, they increased home and care responsibilities. And for the social aspect, teachers can no longer attend the usual graduation. For the mental aspect, based on the study of T et al., there is really a feeling of unlikely surviving the COVID-19 pandemic, and they are worried about their family, and it also caused them stress, anxiety, and depression. And we know that, and we all know that because during the first surge of the pandemic in 2020, all of us were very afraid of getting infected. And for the physical aspect, teachers have increased their home and care responsibilities because the work from home arrangement became prominent, and there is a high percentage of teachers that suffered from the symptoms of anxiety, stress, and depression, and that is according to Etsebaria 2020. And especially when the universities reopened, no, and we can already report to our offices. And because of that, the skeletal workforce arrangement caused them a lot of stress because they are afraid of getting infected and then coming home to their families, affecting their loved ones, because if they have close contact with an infected person. And also, if as expected, people with job instability are more prone to suffering to psychological symptoms, and these findings indicate the importance of safeguarding the mental health of teachers, because if the mental health of teachers are being compromised, how can they produce quality materials or quality teaching? And their well-being are compromised, their students, so as their students. That is according also to Etsebaria 2020. And the next one, for the physical, the social aspect, teachers can no longer attend the usual graduation ceremonies, of course, because we are afraid of, again, being in contact with an infected person. And UNESCO here emphasizes that that the health crisis really will have a long-term effect on our health, especially for teachers. And this is the perfect time to rethink the curriculum, the teaching and learning assessment processes, and the development of students' competencies. No? And while we are trying to strengthen the learning skills of the students, but in terms of our socialization, still we have to do very limited socialization activities because we are not sure if really the virus is no longer around. And even after this pandemic, we are not sure if there is another pandemic coming or affecting all of us. So third, there is no significant difference because all of us were affected, both men and women. So it has no significant difference when it comes to the demographic profile. Four, based on the findings, there is a need for a psychosocial support program that will help teachers manage stress of getting infected by the virus, balance work and home responsibilities, and ways on managing stress on the limited interaction with people. Therefore, it is important safeguarding the mental health of teachers to ensure both the well-being of students and high-quality teaching. So for our recommendations, first, the teachers must be provided with support to enhance and promote psychosocial well-being and boost their work performance. Of course, if our physical health is compromised, how can we perform our work um, uh, amid the ongoing crisis, no, or the ongoing pandemic? So therefore, there should be at least a wellness space in school for teachers where they could breathe, even if they are in the workplace. Like they could maybe get a sip of coffee or sit and take a break, look at the clouds, the green trees. And we all know this, that having a wellness space is like giving time for yourself, if despite the many things you are performing at school, especially for teachers who really have a lot of ancillary services or ancillary designation. It costs them a lot of stress and paperworks and other administrative works that the teacher devotes their time instead of instruction only. Okay, so next, the school administration may develop strategies that will promote balance between work and home responsibilities, which is limiting after work contacts to diminish exhaustion beyond the working hours. We all know that the work from home work arrangement is already on force. However, uh, working beyond our beyond our working hours will really have an impact on our mental health, and that is sometimes forgotten by the authorities. We know, we understand the inexigency of service term, but of course we also have to consider the mental health of our teachers, that they are also human beings and they have to also look after themselves and take a rest. So next, third, both men and women are affected by the pandemic, and they must be given equal opportunities to provide time for themselves. Yeah, like what I've mentioned earlier, limiting after work and after school involvements. If they are already at home and it's beyond the working hours, let us limit contacting them, because it will really compromise their mental health, physical health. And as I mentioned earlier, if our physical health or our mental health is compromised, how can our physical body really works? And I know some of you are aware of that. Number four, educational institutions may create an applicable and appropriate psychosocial intervention that will promote the quality of life affected by the pandemic, such as wellness break or mental health break, and and design pandemic responsive socialization activities to promote teachers' psychosocial well-being. DepEd already have, and other educational institutions already have wellness breaks, but this could also be done in a school base or the school level, because teachers work in a very limited space in school. And I think if the administration of that school would propose a program that will regularly check on teachers, provide them space or a safe space even in school, they will really perform better compared to giving them a lot of work without even making them feel that they are having a safe space after a very tiring morning. It's like, they can do it every break time there, and or lunchtime, because some teachers do not go home, and it still adds up to their stress thinking about their loved ones at home. So that would be all for my presentation, and I would be more than willing to answer some questions if the panel of examiners would be asking me. Thank you very much.